Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode. Well, I say the new episode. It's the very first episode of the Couch Racing Chronicles. This is a podcast run by four idiots. Yeah, can you believe that? What's up, everybody? My name is AJ. I'm the lead admin for Team 17 on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Been a NASCAR fan for well over 20 years. I'm a Chris Buescher fan, Chase Briscoe fan as well, Ty Majeski fan, and Ryan Sieg, a Taylor Gray fan on the Xfinity side. I think this is going to be something that a lot of people need in this sport, just for the casual fan. I mean, for the hardcore fans too. This podcast is going to be just a couple idiots just talking about NASCAR. I mean, what more can really get out of it? You know what I mean? So we could just give this a try, and we'll see how we do with this first episode. So, got a couple friends here with me to help do this podcast, and let's introduce every single one of them, shall we?
Howdy, partners. My name is Sonny, and I have been a Kyle Busch fan for over a decade and a half. No, I am not well. Thank you for asking. But anyways, I hope to be the chaos magnet in this podcast, but also provide some hopefully really insightful and comedic insights into our group of friends that we run. So with that, I thank you all for joining us, and I hope you enjoy this podcast just as much as we do making it.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your NASCAR redneck, currently also hiding behind Worldwide Technology Raceway. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to be arrested. But, truth be told, my name is Checker. I have been a NASCAR fan for 3 years, and I currently, vibe with my 12 team, my 20 team, and my 6 team. We always ride on Sundays, and I welcome you all to this new journey that us four are coming together for some entertainment for some NASCAR. So, welcome to the ride.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Channy, and I have been, driving or riding alongside my boy William Byron in the 24 for about two and a half years, 3 years, whatever. And another interesting fact that I am a row wrestler on the side, so yeah. But with those introductions out of the way, let's wave those green flags and let's start this podcast.
Katie, you're just going to leave Ryan Preece out like he's nothing, SMH?
I'm a Ryan Preece fan also.
Dade.
Yeah, as you can tell, we have 3 RFK fans in here and a Kyle Busch fan who is probably very unwell, which, I totally get it, because I'm pretty sure he's going to bring a toaster to the bath one of these days. But anyways,
you are not well.
You are not well. No, I totally get it, because you've been a Dale Jr. fan for as long as I've been. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
So we just got back from Charlotte. We had the truck race on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and then the Coke 600 on Sunday. So, how was everybody's weekend at Charlotte?
I'd say it was okay. Really nothing, too particular. Though that, transition, though, that was a great Sunday. That Sunday was a fun race, though, but I'd say it was an okay day. Trucks is okay, but Xfinity was also good.
We had an okay weekend. We had the car was just, I don't know. Practice wasn't all that great. We were 32nd in practice overall. Qualifying, we just blew it completely out of the water. Even Chris tweeted it himself that even he was surprised. And I thought we were going to be a huge contender to win there, but it all just came apart after stage 2. I truly don't know what happened, and then we'll talk about it later on in the show. But just the 77. I like Carson. Don't get me wrong, but. In the situation, obviously I'll touch more about it, but I was very frustrated in the heat of the moment because this is like the second or third run-in we've had with the 77, right? So, and we'll get to that later on, obviously, but we finished 22nd, which that kind of sucks because the rest of the RFK cars Priest got a top 10. Brad obviously got a top 5. We'll talk about that later on. But Majeski, not a good weekend. Again, we are struggling. I don't know what is going on. We qualified really good, and then I didn't really watch the truck race on Friday night, so I can't really give you a legitimate answer on what happened. But I think he was involved in a wreck. I could be wrong. Saturday, Taylor qualified on the pole and had a tire go down, unfortunately, and finished in the 30s. And Ryan had a good day. He finished 8th. And I'm telling you guys, I've been following him for a very long time, and I think his first win's going to be coming around the corner soon. I truly believe it. But, Sonny, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead. I'm going to let you finish.
Nah, I feel like we could have had a better weekend overall, but it could always be worse. You could have asked me how my weekend went when we went here in 2011, but I digress. But yeah, Cheney, I got to talk about it. Byron had a really good car all weekend, and
he really did. He
had a good car. Led 14 times for nearly 300 laps out of 400. And finished second. That kind of blows, but that's just the way the sport works. And Chastain had a really good car there at the end, and I was genuinely surprised. Okay, considering the state of Trackhouse racing this year, that was kind of nice to see them get that win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really, really happy for those guys, and I truly thought Byron had it locked up in the bag. I really did.
I thought so too, but the main thing is that we had a good day on Sunday.
You guys got some valuable playoff points too.
Yes, we did, and also getting a top 10 with Ryan Priest that you mentioned.
Yes, he finished 9th. He qualified really bad too, and so, keep in mind both Brad and Ryan both qualified really bad. Chris qualified 4th, obviously. It was like a complete 180 because those two ran really well. Brad's car just came to life towards the end of the race, and I truly thought he was going to have a shot to win it too, but he probably needed a couple more cautions to work out in his favor, and maybe the one in the 24 wrecking would have probably solidified that deal. But keep in mind that car wasn't. No, I'm just being truthful. Just being truthful, man.
Yeah,
But,
I know.
But that car wasn't a clean race car. Let's keep that in mind. That car was battered and bruised. And, bringing home a first top 5 of the year, we'll get into that later on, that's amazing. So, what do you guys think? We should get into green flag, red flag?
I believe we should. We got a lot to discuss here, our first episode.
Let's get to it.
All right, so for those who follow Door Bumper Clear, this is kind of the same process as Spot On, Spot Off. So, again, not trying to copy anyone by any means, speaking of Door Bumper Clear, I actually just started listening to them again for the first time in about a year and a half, and the podcast has just gotten so much better. That's just me, though. But, so green flag means you agree with the topic. Yellow flag, you're right in the middle, like you agree, but you also disagree. Black flag, absolutely not. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, the fuck? And then red flag's just like, nah, not really feeling that. So, let's get into it. All right, green flag, red flag. Topic number 1, with Sammy Smith's post-tech disqualification at Charlotte, this marks the 8th total post-race tech DQ 2025 for all 3 series as of race 13. Green flag, red flag. I'm going to take it to Sonny for this one.
Well, I know Sammy Smith is probably still in a bit of hot water after the tomfoolery he pulled at Martinsville, but I'm going to take this into the perspective of the team that did the car. They reported that it was a miscalculation on their part. It was an error, and it resulted in them getting the DQ. And honestly, I give them props for just admitting to it and saying that we messed up and we aren't going to appeal, because if you messed up and you still tried to appeal anyway, it would look kind of on your part. So I'm kind of glad they took the clear way out. But regardless, this is still kind of a hit. Especially because now I think I can consider that Sammy Smith has now won and lost a race from disqualifying. So I don't think anyone's ever done that before. Could be wrong, but this is just a red flag. I'm glad the team is owning up to it, but yeah, a DQ is a DQ. Nobody wants to have their day ruined because of inspection.
Yeah, so let me just clarify for those who do not understand why he got DQ'd. He was DQ'd in post-race tech for a minimum weight violation, which, I mean, this is starting to become more and more common this year with DQs in post-race tech, which that's the 8th overall DQ, and it's only May going into June, and that's kind of scary to me. So I'm red flag on this, obviously, because I don't want to see anyone get DQ'd in post-race tech, especially, probably the worst one this year was when Jesse Love got disqualified at Rockingham when he won too, so that's kind of a tough pill to swallow right there. And I think that might affect his outcome in the playoffs. But as far as Sammy goes, I mean, he had a 5th place car, finished 5th and got DQ'd and was scored dead last with 1 point, which that's kind of unfortunate. But I mean, at least JRM owned up to it. And they said, hey, we're not going to appeal this. I mean, this was a mistake on our part and no point to appeal, right? So, but yeah, let's see. Parker Kligerman got DQ'd at Daytona, which I still feel really, really bad about that. He got DQ'd for the same reason Sammy Smith got DQ'd. I'm trying to think. So there's that. Eric Jones got DQ'd at Martinsville for literally the same thing, which that's 2 already. Then the 19 got DQ'd as well at Rockingham for 3 loose lug nuts, which that's a big no-no. I mean, that's a clear, blatant safety violation. You can't do that. Jesse Love, like I already mentioned, got DQ'd for a shock assembly, I think. Am I right?
I would believe so.
I think it was for the shock assembly. I'll have to look back. And then Lane Riggs got disqualified. And this one's probably the worst of it all, which, I mean, y'all can say whatever you want about Lane Riggs, but the dude finished 2nd at Kansas and got DQ'd for something very stupid. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say stupid, but something that seems so minor, Like, I think it had to do something with the truck bed was sagging at the back of the truck. I don't remember, but I was like, I was at work when this happened. I work overnight, for those who don't know. And I was waiting for Tech to come out for the truck race. And I was like, man, it's taking them kind of a bit. I think there might be a DQ. And literally 5 minutes later, Bob Pockers put up the tweet that Lane Riggs was disqualified. And I'm like, that's not the DQ we wanted. But what do you know? There was a DQ. So I'm going to stop blabbering now. Checker. Green flag, red flag.
Well, with the perspective, are you sure? Are you sure we're racing cars? Or is the new occasion racing lowriders? I don't know, because everything's just been low lately. But realistically, let's put this outside the box real quick. Let's say Sammy Smith if Sammy Smith hasn't made the playoffs yet, hasn't won a race yet. This would majorly sink him. This would majorly sink him down,
Yeah, but at the end of the day... Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, though, no matter even if you get a win right now, realistically, if you still have a win, it's still not looking good, especially with all those points, getting docks and everything. It's just,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But it's been a common theme, like you said, you and Sonny said earlier, it's a common theme where we see a lot of disqualifications, lately because of minor parts, part problems, with either the trucks or the cars, in all 3 series.
Right.
But
no, I mean, it's
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, there's an old saying, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, you're trying to find that extra little gray area, in trying to make the car go faster. I mean, if it means making the car just a little bit too low, I mean, there is a fine line though when it comes to that. And I was actually listening to which door bumper clear episode was it? It wasn't from this week. It was like an old episode. I think it was the episode when Parker Kligerman got DQ'd. So the Daytona episode with Ryan Blaney. I think that's the one that was. And, you know, and it's just, you can only do so much to try to make the truck or the car go faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to lower it just a little bit, I mean, cool. But don't, by all means, don't be blatantly obvious that you're cheating, right?
Well, obviously,
so,
yeah. Don't make
I mean, that one's a big no-no.
Yeah, don't make it too obvious. Honestly, in the case of Sammy Smith, though, they know what they did, and it's understandable. They're not going to appeal, of course, but it's just, I don't know. It just, all these disqualifications, it's just been a lot common more this year. So, truth be told, though, honestly, in my personal opinion, I'm kind of on the defense of, like, you know, red flag as well. In the purpose, you know, of Sammy Smith's case and like you said, Parker Kligerman's case back at Daytona and all that. So, yeah, I'm red flag on this situation.
Chaney, how about you, buddy?
I mean, hearing hearing everything that you guys said about, you know, just like them, you know, just like, okay, like we messed up and we're not going to appeal this disqualification. The other DQs with the sorry.
No, I was just gonna say they weren't gonna gain anything by appealing it.
Yeah. And you know, with you guys mentioning like, you know, all the other disqualifications, like probably for the same minor reason, and what Checker was like saying something. I don't know if it was you or Checker saying this, but you know, just like if you want to like, you know, modify it only like a little bit to make it faster, that's okay. But if you're doing too much, that might be considered flat out cheating. So
okay, well, let me go back to that for a second. I don't want to make it clear that, hey, we should make all of our cars too low to the point where we should be cheating, right? No, that's not the point I was trying to make out of that. The point I was trying to make out of that, as a race fan for over 20 years, as there have been cases where cars have been DQ'd in post-race tech because they were too low. So the point I was trying to make out of this, and I backed up my evidence on this because I was scrolling through Twitter and searching up old, because keep in mind, NASCAR started this post-race tech deal to be completed within a few hours back in 2019. And the first instance was I don't know if Sonny remembers this, but Richmond back in the fall of 2019, Truex won there. Eric Jones, who finished fourth, got DQ'd for being too low. And I think Kyle Busch also got DQ'd at Bristol in the Xfinity race in 2020 for the same thing. So, I mean, this is just a very common thing that a lot of people don't realize, that a lot of times when people fail post-race tech, it's usually because the car's too low, right? And they're trying to find every little inch they can get to make the car go a little faster, even if it means just going down like a lowrider, basically. So that's the point I was trying to make.
all right. But hearing all of your guys' explanations about this, I might have to jump on the red flag train.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Kyle Larson fails to complete the double after only completing 91 laps of the Indianapolis 500 and only 246 laps in the Coca-Cola 600. Green flag, red flag, Checker.
Oh, where do we begin with this? Because I'm trying not to, you know, start some controversy, you know, with fan bases, but you have to admit yourself, AJ, that he kind of stepped on his dick a little bit twice this week.
Okay, so yes, and no, but I'll let you back that up.
Okay, I'll admit though, he really is trying. Like, Larson really is, you know, trying his luck, gambling, you know, the double. Yeah, she had a fairly decent car, you know, at the Indy 500 and all that, but like, just unfortunate that, you know, got caught up on a wreck and all that. But then, you know, going back to Charlotte, you know, then complete some of the Coke 600 with 246 laps. Then he, like you said, he also wrecked out, which not on purpose, by the way. So it's like Larson. Honestly, that's the big question. I was like, does he really need to like? Does he need to like do the double again? Because like he attempted this twice, and both of them turned out unsuccessful. But truth be
Yeah.
told, I don't exactly know in the mindset of like, should he reattempt? But I think if there was more time, there was more practice, more ahead of time. I think Larson should maybe have more time, on like Indy 500 because you're going between two different, sports and two different cars, of course, because Indy cars, more, yeah, and then NASCAR is like, um, having a brain fart right now. Yeah,
It's a whole different animal.
right, yeah, exactly. I had a brain fart for a second.
All good.
So honestly, in my personal take, I'm kind of on the yellow flag for this one. Like on one side, I think on the bad, I don't think like it's just been unsuccessful. But I feel like he should have more time to progress more because you're going to two different vehicles in two different series. But on the other side, the good side of the yellow flag, I think he honestly deserves another chance. That's just me, but I just don't know what the teams want to decide and what Hendrick Motorsports and all that want to do. But honestly, my personal opinion, no other words except I'm gonna go yellow flag on this one. I'm just gonna be right in the middle with the answer because I don't have an actual clear answer because obviously I'm not Kyle Larson, but
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I'm red flag on this because I mean, I don't really think after because let's keep this in mind. He already had a rough day because there was rain that delayed the start for the Indy 500, and he already kind of had a short window because he wasn't going to make it on time if he completed all 400 or 500 miles at Indy. Because keep in mind, he's got to get out of the car, then hop on a plane to go to Charlotte, then get to a helicopter to get to the speedway. So he would have been already close on time. He wasn't going to make it. So I'm not saying him wrecking out was a good thing, but I don't really think what did him any favors is when Scotty Mack crashed on the pace laps, which I mean, I got to touch on that for a second. I know this is a NASCAR podcast, but I don't really follow IndyCar anymore, but I saw what happened and I genuinely felt bad for the dude. Like, that was really painful to see. See him get out of the car and be so frustrated at himself. I mean, you prepare for like a whole month for this event, have it just over before it even starts. Man, that's kind of crushing for Scotty. I mean, I hate it. But the point I was trying to make with this is he was going to be close on time, and which I don't know if anyone saw, but there was a video that surfaced where Kyle Larson's in-car camera, and then you hear his spotter, Tyler Mond, who spots for him in the Cup Series. Everyone has been going around saying that Larson was being hateful on Scotty Mack for giving him the thumbs up. I think it was more so the fact he was just checking on him because, he wrecked, right? He was just trying to be a good Samaritan. And plus, they're really close in the garage, too. So, I mean, Larson fans just want to... I don't want to say Larson fans, but more like the people who hate on Larson. I don't want to say I hate on him. I'm not really a big fan of him personally, but the dude's a great driver. Without a doubt. I can't stand his fan base. That's just me. But it was all over Twitter this week, and it was kind of ridiculous. But hated that he could not complete the Coke 600 because, I mean, it's one of the longest races on the NASCAR schedule. I don't really think his mentality was in the right place after he crashed out at Indy. And I think that kind of carried over into the 600 because he kind of had a rough day. Spun out while leading, banned a toe link. They fixed the toe link, and he got caught up in someone else's deal when the 12 and the I forgot who all wrecked when that happened, but I think when the 12 wrecked. But as far as him doing it again, uh, honestly, I just focus on NASCAR. I mean, I'm not Kyle Larson. I can't make that decision for him, but the double is really hard. Okay, it was hard back then, and it's just as harder now because you got two completely different cars. The Indy cars have become more harder and harder to drive, and they become more faster and faster. And the Cup cars are becoming more harder and harder to drive too, right? So I I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do it next year. But Sonny, what do you think, man?
There's a lot of things or opportunities that people could say about this and that, what he should do or he shouldn't do. I just want to take a look at this for what it is on face value and try to break it down. So, honestly, no matter how way you look at it, Kyle Larson did not have a great double. I think that's saying the obvious, but like these past two doubles have been excruciating. Last year, he was able to get through Indy, but because there was a weather delay at the start of the race, he couldn't get to Charlotte in time and couldn't start the race, meaning he would lose all of his points. And then when he eventually got to Charlotte, and then it rained again, and then Fox. I mean, NASCAR just cutting the 600 short, he didn't get a chance to even do the race at all. And now this year, you have weather delaying again, the Scott McLaughlin warm-up crash, and then just the Indy crash leading up to getting to Charlotte, and then spinning from the lead, bending that toe ankle. These past 2 years, it was like the racing gods were against Larson at the double. And like, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but like, he doesn't deserve that. Like, he still has probably some of the best racing talent I've ever seen out of a driver. Like, he can wheel a car, and like, to bring up AJ's point, these are entirely two different cars that he would still need more practice with. But last year, he brought the car to the top six in qualifying.
Right.
So, like, I'm not as concerned about the future aspect. If Larson wants to do it again next year, that's fine. If he doesn't, that's also fine. I'm just more worried about what happens to him from here on out, because breaking out in both of the biggest races on the same day, that can demoralize a driver. Kyle Larson, I don't think is necessarily that case. He could just go out and just dominate Nashville, and my whole thing would be irrelevant. But I'm just worried if that this particular day just kind of puts him on a setback for the rest of the year, because Larson's too good of a driver to just have a horrible slump. And I would be really shocked and honestly disappointed if today was just a catalyst for anything about to happen. So I'm red flagging on this.
All right, Channy. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to agree with all of us here, but I'll let you say your piece on this one.
I think you guys, just like pretty much explained everything with I just brain farted. But yeah, I kind of don't need an explanation since you guys already, said all of your pieces. So I might have to go yellow flag with mine.
So you just exist, is what you're basically saying.
Yes.
That's fair. All right, with that, let's get to the next one, which, oh man, I'm excited on this topic, and I know exactly who to go first on this one. So, should Prime have more than 5 races on the schedule? Sonny?
Well, there's a lot of ways to look at this, and here's my envision of it. So, for one who is, well, actually not one, it's like about almost all of the NASCAR community who've had to sit through Fox for the past 2 to 3 years. And let me just say, the Prime broadcast was absolutely refreshing, but majority of us already knew that. So,
Yeah.
So my take on this is that if I want to see Prime broadcast more than just these 5 races, like, it doesn't have to be the whole season, but like maybe like a 10 to 12 race thing, and then they split it off to whoever wants it next. And then I just want to make sure that if they're going to do that, then they at least maintain or improve on this level of quality, because it wasn't perfect, it wasn't flawless. I'm not gonna glaze it, but like compared to, I'm gonna be honest, like the past 9 or 10 years where it was the same two networks going back and forth without any major differences or improvements, like, or maybe not improvements, just it was the same two for like a very long time. Just having something like that was just very relieving for me, and honestly, I'd be down for more of it. So if they can work out all those minor kinks. Just get what needs to be fixed done, and then just keep improving and keep maintaining this vibe I have. Like, they have a really good thing, and since it's on Prime Video, that's a really huge marketing thing that they could do. Like, Prime is it's a lot everywhere with Thursday Night Football, and if you have it, of course, the free day trials and everything. Okay, I'm getting off. Okay. All I'm saying is that if they keep doing this, then I like it, and if I like it, then I definitely would like to see more of Prime throughout the year. Green flag.
Yeah, I'm a green flag on this too. The broadcast was great. Do not get me wrong. It was great. It was cool to see pre-race. I watched a good chunk of the pre-race. It was really good. The racing product itself, the race was actually really good. Let's get that first and foremost out of the window. Not surprised. Charlotte has been really good with this next gen car. And I didn't watch the post race, but I heard the post race was pretty badass with Junior drinking a beer with Corey LaJoy and Adam Alexander, I think. But it was just a breath of fresh air. I mean, we dealt with Fox's shenanigans for the last 10 years, and Fox has been very hit or miss. Do not get me wrong, but it's been mostly misses, right? So I really think they should get more races. And I think what would be a huge deal breaker for me, and I know Fox has had this, the Daytona 500 locked up for the last 15 years. I think it would be cool to give it a try and put the Daytona 500 on Prime for 2026 or 2027. This is just me, though. But the point I'm trying to make out of this is sometimes all it just takes is just a new cast of broadcasters and play-by-play announcers to just change it up a little bit, because I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed this, especially, but the last couple of races with Fox, including FS1 with the truck race, they're so bored, and I can't really blame them because, Bristol especially, up front it was a complete snooze fest, but I mean, there was a lot of racing going around all around. It's just, we've had some really rough races this year, and it was really good to see that the 600 was actually really good. So let's keep it up, and I hope to God we don't have 5 overtimes in Nashville this year. For the love of God, please.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I understand why. Checker, I know you didn't really watch the race, but you did hear about it. So same with you, Channy. So if you guys want to give your opinion on it, you're more than welcome to.
Well, first off, wait, you tell me that Prime is actually on Amazon. Oh, we're not talking about KSI and Logan Paul. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so the thing with Prime is, of course, you got your typical lineup. You just had the Coke 600, last week. You got Nashville coming up. We got Michigan. Hell, we're going international. We're going to Mexico City in a few weeks, and then we have Pocono to end Prime's, turf. But I've heard about it. I mean, I've seen clips on, Twitter, of course. I've been seeing a lot of videos on it. I'm like, okay, it's actually pretty cool. Now, like you said, yeah, Next Gen was great. Obviously, Next Gen's good with the Coca-Cola 600. And I'm really curious to see how the race is going to be at Nashville this week, since I'm going to be watching it this time alone. I'm really curious how they're going to implement everything. I think it's really cool to see a fresh bag of air compared to Fox.
Also, sorry for the background noise, y'all.
No, you good. I was gonna say, I think Prime is a fresh start. It would be cool, like I said, to see, to give a lot of other tracks a try. Honestly, like you said, AJ, Daytona 500 would actually be a cool idea. Of course, it wouldn't happen, but it would be a cool idea. This is just an idea, but why can't we have Prime for the super speedway races? That'd be kind of cool, actually. That's just me.
You know, I was actually just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Right. I was just thinking about that, actually. What if we did the spring Talladega race,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could have spring Talladega, then, of course, you could have fall Talladega for, like, USA and all that, but, I think, truthfully, they need to, like branch out. They give Prime a few more chances. I give Prime, let Prime, go through Nashville and all that, the rest of the schedule, and see how they do. But give other tracks a chance. I think it's gonna be cool. And the fact that the post race show was cool to see, and actually fresh air, actually do more variety. I truthfully think that Prime should get a chance to branch out more. But obviously, I'm all green flag for Prime, to see what else they could do. So green flag.
Danny?
Okay. Okay, so I'm probably going to jump to what Sonny said before, and also Checker. Fuck you. I'm already thirsty for Prime. Okay, so back to what Sonny said. If NASCAR keeps this Prime Video deal up, and if the races get more and more and more entertaining, that's just me. I think that with what the topic is talking about with Prime, should Prime have more than 5 races on the schedule? I think it's gonna be okay. So with that in mind, I'm also probably gonna go green flag.
All right, I need to get this out of my system too before we get to the next topic. Do you want to see something? Do you want to hear something that's kind of pissed me off about this?
Hey, what's
up?
What's up?
So I've heard nothing but generally good feedback about Prime. How easy it was, but do you notice the one thing that kind of PMO'd me about this?
I can only imagine.
The damn boomers, okay?
Yep.
And I mean this with all due respect. The damn fucking boomers when it comes to this. Well, we shouldn't have to pay to watch a damn NASCAR race. It's included in your Amazon Prime subscription. You don't have to pay for anything except for your Amazon Prime subscription. They also offered a free trial for all 5 races. So quit your fucking bitching. It's not that hard. But
damn.
No, because I've been so sick of hearing this all week. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have to pay to watch a NASCAR race. Okay, this is the way of the world. This is how it works. I mean, we're moving into a world full of streaming and moving away from cable. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Streaming is better. Streaming is better.
Exactly.
Why did I have a feeling I was gonna play that?
It's like that one meme. It's like that one meme. Like NASCAR should be on cable. NASCAR should be on cable. Okay, Grandpa, time to go to bed.
Okay, Grandpa, time to go to bed. No, but no, I'm serious though, because really, you guys don't need to really do anything. Just install Prime Video and just sign in with your Amazon account. It's really not that hard. I don't understand what the issue is here. I'm serious. Like, you fucking boomers.
Valid crash out. Valid crash out.
Dude, listen, it may be just the fact I'm only running on 2.5 hours of sleep, but seriously, it isn't that fucking hard. Just Prime Video.
Okay, that's good.
I'm in a room of chaos.
Oh shit!
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an AJ crash out on podcast.
Let's go.
No, this won't be the first time, won't be the last time. No, but but back to my point. You guys are missing out on some great quality content, and you guys are bitching and moaning that you have to pay extra. No, you guys do not. The only thing you have to pay for is your goddamn Amazon subscription with Amazon Prime. Oh my god. I wanted to choke slam some people with that. It was ridiculous. Alright, moving on to the next.
I was gonna say, Amazon. I don't know how the fuck am I gonna get my races delivered to my front porch?
No! Alright. next topic before I genuinely crash out.
Who is snorting?
That would be Chandler.
Peppa the Pig. Anyways, moving on.
Oh, I'm crying.
Anyways, Elton Sawyer told SiriusXM Tuesday morning that increasing horsepower on the Cup cars is on the table and talked about every day. I'm going to go first on this because I have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to this. So as a casual fan and someone who is a big fan, I think increasing horsepower would be a good idea, but where's the money for it, right? So I genuinely believe. Well, first of all, I don't really think just increasing horsepower alone is going to fix this car, right? Because this car does need some fixing. Give it like a softer, Tommy Baldwin brought up a really good point on DVC a couple weeks ago. Make a very softer tire like what we had at Phoenix with the red option tire, and then maybe increase the horsepower up to 750. We might actually have a good racing car, good racing product, right? So as a fan, you would like to be like, I want to get back to 900 horsepower. Well, unfortunately, I hate to be that person. I don't think it's going to happen. As much as we all want to, and who grew up in that area, yeah, we want 900 horsepower. We do, but I don't really think the most we're probably going to get is 750, right? So I think it would be great, especially for short tracks. Run a softer tire and have a 750 horsepower downforce pack, a low downforce package, right? So. I'm green flag for what Elton Sawyer said, but then again, Elton Sawyer is a fucking moron and doesn't really know shit, even though he made like 2 starts in the last 1,000 years before the fucking dinosaurs roamed the earth. But I digress. Um, I'm literally making everyone laugh. I'm shocked. But no, I mean he had a good point, and I genuinely understand where he's coming from, but ah, that's kind of tough because you got to look at it from a team's perspective, right? So let's say you're Joe Gibbs, right, and you think, oh, maybe we can increase the horsepower up to 750 for all the tracks. That may not exactly be a good idea, right? Super speedways, especially because we already have a hard time keeping the cars on the damn track. I mean, case in point, Ryan Preece at Daytona. Sorry, Chandler or Channy. Sorry. So I genuinely don't know. I want them to try to make this happen, but at the same time, I'm kind of like in between. So I guess I'm a yellow flag. So I mean, there's my point on that. Sonny, please help me before I go delusional.
I am not any less delusional because I have to hear more of Elton Sawyer's yapping. Well, okay, this is not yapping. This is an issue that's been talked about for a while, and I'm at least grateful that he's acknowledging that there's been talking points of it. But generally, I'm just kind of on the same boat as well. It's like horsepower would fix a issue, but it wouldn't fix all the issues. Like there's a lot of other problems that go into it, like uh, the short tracks tires have not been good. Super speedways, there's the gridlock issue, though. From what I hear, it's mostly Talladega. Daytona doesn't really have it too bad, um, or Atlanta, but there's just too much stuff that's going about related to the next gen that I don't think horsepower could cover all of it. But but it would be if you have all of the great funds, the money, just because a lot of this is expensive, especially in modern NASCAR. But I see where he's coming from, and I appreciate the talking efforts. But I think I'm just kind of on the same boat with AJ on this one. So yellow flag.
All right, so real quick, I actually want to ask you a question specifically because you've been a fan of the sport about as long as I have for a good chunk of your life. My thing is, I think it can be done. It's just more so the fact of, especially in super speedways, would this fix the fuel saving issue? I genuinely don't think so.
Right, because like the super speedways, the cars are burning fuel that it leads to fuel conservation during the end of the stages. that's a whole other thing that I'm gonna save for later.
Right. And I truly agree because I don't know what else we can do, right? So I definitely think we'll start with a softer tire and just. I think we should just start with a softer tire and just see how it goes, right? We can't make the tires too soft, otherwise they're going to be about as marshmallowy as my stomach after a full course meal. No, I don't really think horsepower is just going to fix it. I mean, it's going to do some wonders. Don't get me wrong, but no, that ain't going to fix the issue alone. All right, Checker, your turn.
Ka-chow. I mean, wow. Holy crap. Wow, we're talking about horsepower. Wow. I mean, it's a good idea, but it's also kind of a bad idea. It's basically like a yellow flag mix. Like, on one side, it's like, okay, yeah. On, like, short tracks, all that, sure, we need more power in the engines, but super speedways, we do not. We do not, like, we do not need to go off into orbit, We don't need to go up to the fucking moon on these cars. Truth be told, though, the acknowledgement, though, about horsepower, yeah, it's definitely kind of an issue, but I also think it's also kind of not an issue because, like, it's just, it's just there. Like, we've been, talking about horsepower for a long time, but, like, it comes to the point where it's like, sure, I think it's just all it needs to be, I think it should be, like, a selective, option, for, like, short tracks, all that, like, stuff, but not, like, super speedways. Super speedways is fine as is. That's just me. But I just don't think, we don't need, to go, like, full on send in, different tracks with different horsepower. I don't think that's going to fix the problem with the car, but truth be told, that's just me on that. I have, short explanation. I really don't know what else to say except yellow flag on that one.
Jenny?
You guys, just basically explain, just like every single piece that you guys said. So I'm not going to say my explanation and just say yellow flag.
You know what, real quick, I'm just going to say I feel so sorry for everyone else in this call and everyone else who's listening to this recording. I think everyone was afraid I was going to go on a full-on rant again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because I could go on a full-on rant about this car, and I'm going to choose not to. What's up, Checker?
No, I was going to say, I was getting ready to, I was going to go cover, if you were going to talk for a while, I was going to go downstairs and get some popcorn.
Shit, man, you might as well share a bowl with me.
Yeah, sure, it's Act 2, but but we're not sponsored, but
Anyways,
yeah.
Let's move on to the next topic. Brad Keselowski scores his first top 5 of 2025 after finishing 5th in the Coca-Cola 600. Green flag, red flag, I gotta go to Checker on this one first.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! No, legit. We have been struggling, like, we've been sinking, like, dude. As how long has Brad, had bad luck? Like, when was the last time Brad had, like, good luck, this year RFK? Like, when was the last time? Like,
Brad hasn't had a top 5. It hasn't had his best finish this before Charlotte was 15th at Vegas.
Yeah, so for the last few weeks, we were just struggling, and it's either that or just bad luck, just unfortunate. Like I said, we had a close moment, a couple of weeks back, but then, like we said, we just unfortunately wrecked out, we couldn't do anything, but I'm just kind of glad that, Brad's kind of figuring it out with the 6 team. The 6 team is just, it's been a bumpy road, RFK and all that, but right now, we're giving it everything we got, I'm really curious to see if this is, just the start of an improvement, and this is just, a false hope miracle, but I'm happy that we got top 5, but overall, I don't exactly know what's about to happen, in the next few weeks of the season, but I'm hoping that we can turn our luck around and, I'd say hopefully figure all of our problems out with the car, and, yeah. I'm just hoping we have a good time, so green flag for that, so yeah.
All right, here's the way I look at this. Well, first and foremost, it's about time. First and foremost, I mean that with all due respect. No, because RFK the last couple of weeks they've had it really rough. Ryan Priest getting DQ'd I said Daytona, Talladega, along with Joey Logano, but who cares about Logano? But I digress. No, Priest got DQ'd. Chris had his penalty at Kansas, the big L1 penalty, mind you, and Brad has just had bad luck. I mean, I think he had Kansas locked up until the tire went down, and because he actually was catching the 9. He was on pace with the 9 and just slowly catching up, and then the tire just went down. And that's the story. Brad has either been caught up in a wreck, being caught up in someone else's mess, or just straight up not running good. And this is a good thing to see. I mean, he is the boss and all. I mean, Priest and Busher have been doing really well this year, and it's good to see Brad finally getting it turned around. So I'm definite green flag on this one. Janny?
I also gotta say that it's about damn time that Brad Keselowski got up there in the on the leaderboard at Charlotte on Sunday, because like you said, RFK has been having a rough time during the 2025 season. So I am so glad that Brad finally got a top 5.
Yeah.
His first top 5 of 2025. With that, I'm probably gonna give it also a green flag.
Before I turn it to Sonny, I do want to point something out too. Because let's look at the season for RFK so far. Busher's had a couple top 5s, got a top 5 at Phoenix, and another top 5 somewhere else. Couple top 10s. Priest has been on a fucking roll, man. Couple top 10s and a couple top 5s. I mean, I truly thought he was going to win Martinsville. I truly thought it was going to happen, but something happened there at the end, just faded, right? But now it's turned to the bad luck. Brad wrecked Daytona and has had a couple DNFs. Ryan Priest was involved in a wreck at Texas after he got DQ'd the week before at Talladega. And Busher got wrecked at Talladega by Denny Hamlin with a bad push gone wrong when the 11 got into the 20 and then collected us, and then we had a broken shock. And Texas. Oh, man. We had a really good car at Texas, and oh, my God. It was... For those who follow me on Twitter, the Team 17 account, I genuinely crashed out when Texas happened. That was just the turning point for me, right? And Chris was actually catching the leaders, too. Same story with Brad. Catching the leaders. We were running third, blew a right rear. And we had a bullshit commitment line violation, which that's NASCAR being NASCAR. That's all I can really say. But, no, I really hope this is the turn of the tide for RFK. And hopefully Priest gets a win. Hope Busher. I would like to see all 3 cars win this year. I would love to see it. I don't care if it's once or twice or a million fucking times. I just want to see all 3 cars do good, right? And, Brad's got Michigan coming up. He's really good there. Busher's got a couple of tracks he's been good at coming up. And, I mean, Ryan Priest won at Nashville in the Truck Series in 2022, so he might be a threat this weekend. Okay, enough of me blabbing. Go ahead, Sonny.
Hey, RCR, if they can do it, we can too. No, seriously, if they can do it, we can too. Or are you just gonna make me go insane for the rest of the time? All right, enough about me. Let's go to Brad. This was very needed, very, very needed. Because not just in standings wise, but just mojo. Brad has been awfully off this year, and they needed something. After the blow that was Kansas, they just really needed something to go their way, and they did. They finally got a result they could be proud of this year. That's first top 5 of the year, as mentioned before. So, honestly, looking at where they are at points, they're still ways back. I'm not sure if they can play off their way in. I mean, we still got a couple super speedways to go, so anything is still theoretically possible. But honestly, I think the focus would just be right now, just continue this subtle rejuvenation. Just get yourself back into the game and see what comes up for next year. But if you happen to get one of those super speedway wins, then hell, why not? Let's go for it. Let's run the tables. But really, this is just a really good race for somebody who just really needed it, and I hope it can be a resurgence push for Brad Keselowski this year. Green flag.
So now I do want to bring this up because we got a lot of time here. Do you think Brad's in a must-win situation now?
He looking at playoff standings, he's about 100 points back, which looks bad, but a lot of the guys on here he could pass. Or with the equipment, he could theoretically pass. He's got like the competition between he and his RFK teammates are like AJ Allmendinger, Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, John Nemechek, who's honestly had the season one of the most underrated seasons of all time for a legacy driver. Carson Hocevar, and then other than like Ty Gibbs and Todd Gillen, if you want to include him, he's not must win yet. He could make up a lot of ground, but I'm just worried about that final push. So he's kind of yes and no. He's not technically a must win, I consider, but a win would really help out.
Yeah, of course. I do want to touch on that too, especially because I truly believe he could, if he got a couple stage points and a couple stage wins, I think he could improve on points definitely and get the job done. But I think a win would definitely, put a major band-aid all over the wounds of what happened, what should have been this year. He had a good car in Atlanta, wrecked. Had a good car in the 500, wrecked. Had a good car pretty much at Kansas, wrecked. But no, I truly believe that this could be the turning point for Brad. I know he's getting up there in age. I don't really think it's an age thing. It's more so just straight up bad luck. So, moving on to the next topic. I'm gonna let Checker read this one.
Alright, so last topic for green flag, red flag. Chris Buescher's L1 penalty from Kansas got amended, overturning one of the two penalties, which results in, instead of losing 60 points, to 30 points now, which has moved him from 23rd to 17th in points, 6 points below the playoff bubble. Green flag, red flag. AJ, go ahead.
Okay, let me just say first and foremost, I didn't think we were going to win the appeal. Okay, I had very low hopes of actually winning it. Right, so hold on one second. Sorry, I saw something pop up. Okay, cool. Chandy's back. All right. Anyway, so I'm happy we won the appeal. Right. We got some of our points back, which that's going to help us tremendously. Now, so I don't want to use that as a security buffer, right? Because we're still below the cutoff line just by 6 points. But that 6 points is going to make a major difference here in these couple of weeks, right? And it proved it for sure last year too, because we've been pretty much hovering around this position a good chunk of the season last year, 16th, 17th, 18th. We've been pretty much hovering around that, right? And we need to get a win. I truly believe we need a win. Either that or get some stage points because we can't just be chilling in 15th, 16th, 17th. That's we've been pretty much around 12th, 13th, 14th all year, right? And I truly want to say, I think we would have a shot in Michigan to get it done because, we won there in 2023. We had the best car that whole weekend, and I truly believe we did good there last year too, right? Getting involved in a wreck and still finishing sixth, that's a win to me, So I truly believe the racing gods need to stop torturing RFK for the life of us, please. Especially Chris, right? Because he's had some very unlucky breaks in the last couple of weeks, and the one especially I was going to mention was with the 77. At first I was genuinely mad, right? Because it's the same fucking shit every week, right? But when I looked back at the replay, the 77 blew a motor. He was in the middle of traffic. What was he going to do, right? There was nothing he could really do. He couldn't get to the bottom. He couldn't get to the. He tried getting to the top, and then Chris got collected in it because I don't think he was expecting him to check up, and it caused a huge stack up in turn two on the backstretch. And it is what it is, right? At least we salvaged a better day out of it by finishing 22nd. But we could have been DNF'd in the garage. So take what you can get out of it. But as far as this penalty goes, we definitely need to start getting it together and start winning some races and getting stage points at this point. So, I'm green flag. Sonny, anybody?
I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'm really green flag with this as well. This was a much needed push. Getting a good majority of those points back and just putting this basically sets them up to considerable amount of points back to just be consistent enough to build yourself back up, because 36 points is a whole lot different beast than 6 points. But yeah, like you said, the cars are really fast. You just need that win to assure yourself, because take last year, you guys were riding around that buffer of 16, 17, like all season long, and then Harrison Byrne just decided today he was going to be a winner and knocked you out. So yeah, I don't want to see a repeat of that happening again, because there's a lot of good teams that just, even if they're not winning, they're really consistent enough to the point where theoretically they should be in the playoffs, and then somebody else that usually runs 30th all year has one good race, and then they win, and then they lock in. Okay, this is not about the playoffs. I should stop talking. This is about Busher.
Well, I mean, it is technically about the playoffs too, if you really think about it.
Yeah, that's true. But staying on topic, this was something RFK needed, because now Busher can just slide back in and just focus on having his good races, and as long as they stay out of the trouble, I think they'll be good to go. Green flag.
Danny?
I think I'm actually going to give this a green flag as well, because this is just me. With what happened with Busher being the penalty from Kansas getting amended, which bumped him up to 30 points more and moved him up to 17th, making him 6 points below off the playoff bubble. I think that's okay in his favor. Again, that's just me. So, green flag for this one.
All right, Checker, on to you.
All right, so I'm happy. I'm really goddamn glad that RFK had a little bit of a break this week, and
Yes.
yeah, and Chris Buescher, got his one of his penalties appealed. Amended. I mean, it's
overturned, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's a good thing. It's a good start. Like you mentioned earlier, even though you look like you're in the clear, you still are 6 points behind the playoffs. Now, that's the big question. Now the big basically question is, do we push forward, with the 17, or do we push backwards? Which, hopefully, God, it's not backwards, but that's the scenario, basically, now. That's the scenario bubble you're in. Basically, what's the performance now going to be, so now that you're -6, do you, start performing better, or do you just keep making, or do you, where we have the same mistakes? That's basically the big question of going into the next few weeks through the scenario. Truthfully, I really am green flag. I'm happy about, Busher. I'm happy for Busher, getting his penalty overturned. But my only concern right now is what's the performance now for the 17 team going to look like now? Are they going to actually come back to play? Finally come in and move forward, or does do they fall? Do they fall more? Because sure, you are you're still behind the playoff bubble, but if you keep falling, then you're gonna keep losing points, and it's gonna make the situation worse. But overall, I'm green flag about the overturn part. But the only concern I have, of course, is what's the performance gonna be. But yeah.
So the way I look at this, especially, is this couldn't have worked out any better, right? Because not only did they get 30 points back, but Shut up, computer. Not only do they get 30 points back, they also Scott Graves will return for Nashville, so that's a big plus for that team. But to add on to what you said, Checker, at this point, you guys we need to start executing, right? We need to get those, like I said, we need to get those stage points. We need to start racking up some wins, okay? Because this is right about this time of year to really come alive, okay? We've noticed it in 2022. We've noticed it in 2023. In 2024, we really didn't start coming alive until probably late July, right? So, I mean, this is typical. This is typical for this team, right? I mean, we start off good, have a couple of rough patches, even it seems like it's every fucking year. Then we get better. Then we trend downwards. I don't know what it is. It's a blessing and a curse, but yeah, I really hope we can turn it around. I mean, Nashville was. I don't remember where we finished at Nashville last year. I think we finished I think we were top 10. I think I'll have to look.
I think you
But
got like 10th in all that chaos.
yeah, but then again, that was because of 5 overtimes. But picks for Nashville. We got all 3 series running Nashville this week. So who wants to go first?
I'll jump in if we don't mind that.
Go for it.
All right. The trucks. Well, there's really about one guy that shows up every week for the trucks. Corey Heim, but I'm not gonna pick him because there's this weird thing where sometimes he dominates and then goes on to win the race, and then he dominates, and then something stupid happens that just knocks him out of contention. Whether it's a mistake on his part or somebody going out of their way to cause chaos. So, honestly, give me Lane Riggs for the truck race. I think it's time Lane Riggs finally puts himself back into the winner's circle.
Yeah.
Xfinity, Xfinity has been a Chevy thing. There's been all but 2 races won by a Chevy, so I don't see that changing much today. So in this instance, I am going with Justin Allgaier. He's won in Nashville before, I'm pretty sure, and that 7 team is really hot when they're fast, and I think if they have a good weekend here, they have a really good shot at winning. So I'm going Allgaier. And then as for the Cup race, well, you can go about anywhere with this one. You got Christopher Bell, who dominated last year. You got Denny Hamlin, who was about to win. And then Austin Cindric couldn't keep his car straight, and then we went into hell. Kyle Larson, one of the fastest cars, but we'll have to see how he races mentally in the after the double. There's really, you could go for anywhere, but I'm going to pick Tyler Reddick.
Okay.
Tyler Reddick in 2311. They haven't had that hot start they had last year, but I think Nashville would just be a really good place for them to turn it around. They've been fast. They've been picking up speed again. They've been doing what they need to be done. I think if they do that again here, then I really think they can get the job done in Nashville. So, Lane Riggs, Justin Allgaier, Tyler Reddick. My 3 picks.
I will take for the truck race. Ooh, this is a good one. Oh, Kyle Busch is running the truck race this week. I forgot about that. Give me Kyle Busch for the truck race. I will take. Looking at the entry list, I'm trying to see if there's anyone. Oh God, Catherine Lake's in this race. Fucking end us all already, please. I kid, obviously. Xfinity, I will take Connor Zillich. He's been doing pretty good. He's slowly starting to impress me, but I'm not fully convinced on him just yet, right? I mean, he's a very talented race car driver. I think he's low-key Lightning McQueen, though, because he was born the same day cars came out. But I digress. Cup, I will take Ryan Preece. So, Kyle Busch, Connor Zillich, Ryan Preece.
Damn, you should have gave Connor the 25. Anyways, for the truck race, give me Tanner Gray.
Ooh, ooh. Oh, he's been on a tear lately.
Big pick.
All right, for the Xfinity race, give me. Let's go Sam Mayer.
Sam Mayer? Okay.
And for the Cup race, I think today, well, Sunday is the day that he finally gets a fucking win. Give me the Sunny stamp of approval. I'm going Kyle Busch.
Well, we were in fourth last year.
All right.
All right, Checker.
It's the big one. This is basically the big one for me. Nashville. After careful diagnosis of all these ideas, I'm gonna go with a bold pick for trucks. I'm gonna go something you don't really think that's gonna make an impact, but that could surprise you. Give me Raja Karu for trucks for Nashville this week. For Xfinity, truth be told, it's been a Chevy fest lately, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but you know what? I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna pick Jesse Love for Xfinity, and for Cup. I know it's not. I know it's a possibility. It can be a scenario, but it's also a possibility. But this is my scenario in my head. Give me Ross Chastain to go back to back for Sunday, and that's my pick for Nashville.
I mean, he won here in 2023, so I wouldn't really be surprised. He's been on a tear lately.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the playoffs, I got some time, so I want to mention this. Who the fuck let Ricky Stenhouse Jr. above the cutoff line?
That is scary.
That is a scary. That's a scary thought.
No, because genuinely though, ever since JTD Doherty left and Hayek bought the team, they've been on a tear.
Yeah, they've been actually fairly cooking.
Ricky's been on a roll. As much as I can't stand Ricky Stenhouse, okay, for reasons.
Yeah.
That team has been doing really well. Him, Mike Kelly, Tab Boyd, all of them. They've been doing really good, and I'm actually really surprised to see them up front. I mean, they've had very good speed all year, and especially on the plate tracks. So good to see him doing very well.
So the big question is, okay, let's put this into a scenario with Stenhouse, doing so well, so they got the speed. If Stenhouse made a breakthrough and won a race this year in the playoffs, which race do you think it's going to be?
That's actually a good question because Ricky definitely succeeds better on super speedways, and that's just me personally. But I don't know. Maybe I'd say Atlanta here in a couple weeks. That's just me personally, though. Anyone else want to chime in?
Well, let's see here. I mean, he's about a top 20 car in all the other ovals, but Atlanta, he finished 5th last time, so. Hey, you know what? Say what you want about only being good on super speedways. I mean, a win's a win in this economy, so you do what you gotta do.
A Ricky Stenhouse Jr. win on 1.5 miles in this economy?
I think the world would break down.
I'll buy that for $1.
No, that's more like worth a penny. Oh wait, the penny is being decommissioned.
But so that's the question. What's Corey LaJoy going to stack on now since pays are going away? That's the real question.
Dimes. Dimes or nickels.
No quarters to make it 50 cent, anyways.
No, stop it. No, but really, seriously, real quick, another team I want to shout out. As much as cocky and reckless he's been, I'm gonna give Carson Ostor some credit too. I mean,
yeah.
That 77 team has been on fire this year, and they just had bad luck come their way, and they just cannot execute. Right? I truly thought they were going to be a contender at Charlotte, right? And they had a really fast car.
Yeah, unfortunate motor, blow up, and then unfortunate.
Now the motor said he disconnected.
Honestly, it's funny how Spire used to be like kind of like it's kind of controversial. It's kind of like a start and park team. Kind of felt like it at first, but now that Carson, took over. And then you have Carson in the 77, and you have Michael McDowell, a veteran, in the 71, of course. Then Justin Haley in the... Okay, we don't talk about Justin Haley's stuff right now. Just, but overall, Spire's kind of, try to turn the wheel, they're trying to turn the wheel, to go into a contending team,
Yeah, well, I mean, look at it too. I mean, they have a win. Should have been Kurt Busch, but I digress. They have a win with Justin Haley back in 2019 at Daytona, but Spire is one of those teams that has really grown over the last 5 years, really. Right? They have a very stable truck team. They've been doing really well. On the Cup side too, they've been doing very well with this Hendrick alliance they got. I think it's Hendrick. I might be wrong, but I think they have an alliance with Hendrick, and they've been doing really well with that too, right? And
Yeah.
I truly believe them getting their resources from Hendrick Motorsports has definitely made them a team that's willing to a top 5, top 10 team every single week. With McDowell in the 71, Carson especially. Carson's a very talented kid, but he needs to chill out a little bit. You know, case in point, what happened at Kansas, right? And I want to touch on that. Even though this was a couple weeks ago, this is just me, and this is probably the driver etiquette that I grew up with. Look, man, why would you stick out your middle finger down the fucking front stretch coming to the checker, right? I mean, I get it. He was being raced hard by the 34. That's just racing, though, right? I mean, you flipping on the driver that put you in the wall. I don't know if it was more of like, "Hey, fuck you, I'm winning" type of thing, or "Fuck you for putting me in the wall." But I mean, that's not really professional, right? I mean, you got sponsors on the side of your truck. It doesn't make you look good.
I mean, he was winning too, so like it wasn't like he just got actively wrecked. He was about to cross the finish line with the victory. So
I don't know. I really don't. But yeah, that's all I've got. I think it's safe to say this was a good week.
Actually, I was gonna say yeah, but should we make this? Should we make this kind of a special and close off since you were just talking about Kurt Busch? Should we just talk about that real quick? Talk about that real quick.
Oh yeah. The NASCAR Hall of Fame inductees for 2026. So we had Kurt Busch, Ray Hendrick for the Pioneer side, Humpy Wheeler too. That's a big deal. Humpy Wheeler is a very notable person in the broadcast industry and in the journalism industry for NASCAR, and that's a big deal. He's a huge legend. Who was the other one? Oh yeah, Harry Gant. As far as Kurt goes, I've heard a lot of two different sides on this, and I'm really happy for Kurt. Okay, this is more of it comes down to Kurt has really turned it around over the last couple of years. Yeah, am I upset because the way his career ended? Absolutely, but I feel like this is kind of the justice he got for being taken out of the car because of a concussion that basically ended his career, right? So, I mean, you could say what you want about, oh, he's got one championship. Okay, but he has a championship. Oh, he only won the Daytona 500. Okay, he had the Daytona 500 win. What more do you want? I think that's enough reason to put him in the Hall of Fame. Plus, he's got well over 30 career wins. I mean, he's a very successful driver. What more do you need to solidify that for him to be on the ballot? As much as I wanted to see Jeff Burton get on the ballot, but I really it would have been special. It's special enough to see Kurt get put into the Hall of Fame, and it was cool to see on Twitter all the teams that basically shouted him out. RFK, Penske, I think SHR or Haas Factory team made a post about it as well. So that it's good to see. Because Kurt has made a very huge impact on a lot of teams, and I think Sonny could agree with me here on this one, but he's a wheelman. He's always been a wheelman, and he's a good guy. And I genuinely think it was well deserved.
yeah, I mean, like I always have a mountain that I'm gonna die on. That like if Kurt did get the concussion back in 2022, he in 2311 we're gonna have a dark horse run because during the second half of the year, he was finally getting the hang of the new ride, the new car. It looked like they could have made a deep run until plans changed. And yeah, but honestly, just seeing the progress of Kurt Busch's career, he started as the champion and then had a horrible stretch of his life throughout the early 2010s, but then he got back on his feet and became a beloved wheelman. Just even if I'm a fan of the younger brother, Kurt is always going to have a special place in my heart, and I'm really glad he's getting all this recognition.
Exactly. I feel like it's well deserved. But yeah, that's all I got this week. Anyone else want to touch on anything else before we get out of here?
That's all for me.
No.
Jay?
I'm saying nothing really I can think of except let's have a good time in Nashville, and congratulations to Ross Chastain, for the Coke 600.
All right, with that, that's going to do it for this episode of the Couch Racing Chronicles. I hope all of you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Go get your pet spayed and neutered. I don't know what else I want to say because I'm not Joe Carey. But we'll see you guys next week after Nashville. Y'all take it easy. Be safe. And with that, remember, drink your fucking water, please. Y'all take it easy. We'll see ya.
Yep. See y'all later. This is the Couch Racing Chronicles, and we are racing off to Nashville. See you next episode. Goodbye, everybody.